Hi, welcome back. So we are continuing National Infertility Awareness Week, and all this week we have been talking about things that you can do to plan if you want to build a family. But also today we're talking about freezing eggs, which I think is very interesting. So we have Dr. Julie Lamb with us from Pacific Northwest Fertility. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Michelle.
We're excited because you've really dedicated your whole life in terms of helping people, empower people making decisions on their fertility. Did I say that?
Yeah, you totally said that just right. Yes, it's so important for women to have an option and learn about their fertility options.
So what are the options? Because I mean, I think some of us feel like, well, what do we have? What can we actually do?
Yeah, so there's lots of high-tech options, which we call assisted reproductive technology, which involves going through essentially the IVF process in order to save your eggs for the future. But even little options like just learning about fertility and when is your optimal fertility. Like a lot of doctors don't even know that.
Oh, okay.
So women just in general, it's important to learn about your health. It used to be that everyone was having babies in their 20s, and it's a lot different picture when we're having babies in our 30s or 40s.
Well, that's what I was kind of wondering. You know, are people thinking about this in their 20s now? I mean, let's talk about the egg freezing parties that you're having.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, so it's more of an educational event in a non-threatening way where we get women together and take away the stigma of talking about women's health and fertility and allow women to educate themselves. What's a fertility window? What kind of testing can you do for your fertility? How do you think about your future? You know, how many kids do you want to have? Do you want to, have kids in your mid-40s or your mid-30s? All those things are going to shape what kind of options you have for the future.
I'm just wondering who's going to these parties.
Yeah,
are they people who are working at Amazon, or are they, people in news?
A little bit of both. It's certainly easier to do the trickier, more technical options if you have coverage for it. So certainly that's the tech groups. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons to delay fertility, whether it's you haven't found the right partner, you're not ready to have a baby, or education. All of that contributes to whether somebody might want to delay their family.
Yeah, it is really interesting because in my circle of friends, we are talking about that more. Like I have a lot of friends who are single, they have no idea when they might, want to build their family, and they are seriously considering freezing their eggs. What concerns should people have if they're thinking about that? I mean, what's the likelihood you could, have a baby if you do that?
So it certainly depends on a lot of factors. Egg freezing isn't right for everybody. There's not necessarily an age limit, but there's an age where it's most successful. So thinking about this in your early 30s is certainly more successful than in your late 30s.
Okay, so what is one takeaway someone who is watching this, whether they're on Facebook and watching us live or they're on television watching us live, what's one takeaway that they should have?
Just empower yourself, and don't be afraid to ask questions about your fertility and learn what your options are so you can make the right choice for you.
Okay, Dr. Lamb, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I appreciate it so much.